morning. Hey, oh, I'm going to turn that light out. How are you doing today? Hello. Oh, good morning. Hi, Sarah. Looks like this is going a little bit slow. I'm just going to stand up because I have a feeling that the twins are not going to let me get a lot done. So what I wanted, I'm just going to go straight to the point. Good morning. Hi, Evie. Did I say Derek? I love watching your stuff. If you're on here, you're doing great work in the world. I've been watching you since you started out in Vietnam, if you're still here. Oh, I'm sorry you're sick. These little guys are getting sick again, too. But good morning, everybody. So, today's our Course in Miracles Day, but I'm probably not going to read from the book. What I want to just talk to you about directly is how you do this work in the moment. Like, it's one thing for us to get together in the mornings and talk about it and explore the concepts. Yeah. But when things happen that hurt our hearts, then it's a little harder. Then you're like, now, what do I do? And how do I work with this stuff? And how do I let myself have my feelings and hold myself accountable to being responsible for my own feelings? That's the important part. That's where the rubber meets the road. That's where this stuff actually becomes a useful tool. If you just think about it and don't use it, it's not helping you at all. So then you have to ask yourself, well, why am I spending so much time studying a skill but not actually putting it into practice? And that's a different conversation. So the conversation I wanted to have with you today is I know that several people are struggling with relationship issues of various kinds. I'm hearing a lot of Mercury retrograde, this or that. Mercury schmercury. It's always something, right? There's always something to cause us pain. There's always something to focus on. Ah, dang it, Evie. I'm sorry. Thank you. Thanks for dropping by anyway. Much love to you, Evie. I think about you often. So, what do? Your spouse does something that upsets you, hurts you, makes you have these kinds of thoughts. Shit, I thought we were past all this. Crap. What do I do now? Do I stay? Do I go? This is a recurrent pattern. This is a bunch of bullshit. And those are the kinds of thoughts that you hear. And then those are the kinds of things that I hear from other people. It's not about Mercury. It's not about traffic. It's not about the economy. It's not about anything other than we've let our outer world take us away from our place of centered love. There's always a Mercury retrograde. There's always a planet in reverse. There's always a lost job, a death in the family. It's always something. The good news is those things may amplify certain things, and you get the opportunity to work with them. That's the good news. The bad news is that they're amplified, and you get lots of opportunities to work with them. What I wanted to talk to you about is feelings versus emotions. And I hadn't heard it explained quite this way. Good morning, Roseanne. And this is from Buddhist Boot Camp by Timber Hawkeye. Here's the point. You have to allow your feelings to go through, and I'm going to read to you how he defines feelings versus emotions, which I think is a really effective way to think about it. Seriously, 5 minutes? Here. They're both grumpy, which is awesome. That's a feeling. Okay. So let's first talk about feelings versus emotions, and then talk about what to do with it and how to apply Course in Miracles and how to apply Byron Katie stuff when you're in the middle of the hurty stuff, the hurty, painy stuff. So feelings versus emotions. A friend called me crying one day because her boyfriend left her for another woman. I couldn't understand why she was devastated. You want to be with a guy who loves you as much as you love him, right? Someone who would never do this to you, correct? And this guy obviously doesn't fit those criteria, so why are you sad? It made no sense, at least not to me. It was clear right there and then that my view on emotions is very different from other people's. I'm sure her reaction to him saying that was less than positive. The hurty, painy stuff. I view emotions as the potholes on an otherwise smooth path toward euphoria, while my friends celebrate yet complain about the ups and downs of their emotional roller coasters. I'm not a cold-hearted or unsympathetic individual. I simply trace back the origin of the pain we feel, and if it's self-inflicted suffering, which it almost always is, I say, if it hurts when you pinch yourself, stop pinching yourself. It's easy, right? My friends know me, so they know when they come to him for guidance, they're going to get that kind of karate chop reality check. However, my comment would seem brutal to an outsider. We talk about that with Byron Katie too. Sometimes she can come off so cold. But it's like, there's this or that. It's that simple. There's love or fear. It's that simple. You can choose to go right into applying the skills, or you can choose to wallow in the emotional story part, which he's going to get to here. I was taught that feelings naturally come and go, clouds in the sky, waves on the water, rise, fall, whereas emotions are feelings with a story attached. So that's how he differentiates it, and I haven't heard it said quite that way, and I really like it. Feelings are the natural ebb and flow with added tambourine. Yeah, that's my backup singers back there. Ashlyn's the rhythm section. Avery's butt is covered with banana gems. She decided that rather than eat the banana, she would smash it into a pulp and massage it into her body. The feeling of that is yuck. Emotions equal feelings plus story. Yeah, that's what he's saying. That, yeah, oh, it's disgusting. The banana's freaking everywhere. I'm just ignoring it right now. That feelings come and go, and when we attach a story to it, then it becomes an emotion which has suffering attached to it. Yeah, I stepped in a piece and was like, what is that? And it's banana. Okay, so emotions, feeling with a story attached, can last as long as we keep feeding the story. A snack for later. No doubt. She'll probably be over licking the couch later where she smeared it all into the couch too. Emotions can last forever. Emotions can last for years. As long as we're putting firewood on the flames. My husband calls firewood warming sticks. I don't know why. It's a random thought. So when people feel sad, I understand. But when they emote sad, I get confused. Buddhism teaches that if we get attached to impermanent things, and feelings are one of the most impermanent things we have to deal with, then our lives are full of anguish. But if we live each moment without attaching to it, we can eliminate the very cause of suffering. This takes practice. Please don't expect to be able to just this year start studying this stuff and, have it just come naturally. It takes practice. It takes daily practice. It takes years of retraining the mind to see things this way, especially in the heat of the moment, right? We all feel sad, hurt, angry, excited, anxious, blissful, but it never lasts for very long, and that's okay. If you feel like shit today, hang on. Something good is right behind it, and then there's some more shit behind that, and then there's more good behind that. Get used to it. That's how it is. It ebbs and flows. You're happy, you're sad, you're pissed off. If we're going to use this definition, emotions need to be observed so you can hear the story that's attached to it and take it back to pure feeling. When one feeling passes, another one comes. It's natural. Yes, absolutely, Tanya. Major progress. It's natural to feel disappointed when things don't work out as you'd hoped. But the only natural response when that happens is to let it flow on through. Difficult as it may seem, it's still easier than trying to cling what's not there. And all you can do is remind yourself to let go. the worksheets that Byron Katie puts out, picking up a book, Course in Miracles or whatever, going on Periscope and finding somebody talking about spiritual practices, these are the things you need to make a list of so that you can do them when you get hurt. You're going to take your hit. When something crappy happens, of course, you're going to take a hit. And you're going to have your human experience of emotions. You're going to have that feeling, and then it's going to come the story, and it's going to get, mushed together like the banana on the couch, and it's hard to separate. But these things do help you separate them. When you let go of the story, the emotion returns to a pure feeling that Martha Beck calls clean pain and dirty pain. Feelings in the fresh moment are clean. Emotions with the story mashed into them are dirty. Almost always, we're not upset for the reason we think we are. We're upset because we've drifted away from what we know to be true. And what we know to be true is the only control we have is right here. Right here. This is all I've got. And we can have expectations of other people, and when they don't meet them, because they won't, we have to work on what that means for us. We have to work on our reaction to it. I have a few areas that I still overreact to. Every time they come up, I'll sit and do a worksheet or, talk about it. But I don't do the worksheet until after I'm past that first hit of emotion. I do let that emotion roll on through, and I don't let it keep me up at night anymore. But it sometimes will still take a day or two before I'm willing to sit down and work with what's happened and look at the reflection, which comes back on me. Every single time it comes back on me. Yes, it feels majorly justified because it is. The truth is, somebody did something and it hurt us. That's the truth. The truth also is the likelihood is high that they'll do it again because people hurt each other. And then you have to decide what kind of behavior you're willing to live with. Because we'd like to all be there all the time, but we're not. Okay, we're practicing which part? That people are going to do it again? If people teach you that that's who they are, to expect them to do other than that is insane. Yeah. Well, because at the end of a Byron Katie worksheet, she says, I look forward to so-and-so doing this behavior again. Because you can fairly safely assume that it's going to happen again. If it doesn't, it doesn't, and that's awesome. But when it does, if there's still pain attached to it, you know that there's more work to do. It's always about the story. It's always, always, always about the story. Maybe. But you can't expect that. You can't expect that if I act differently, they're going to act differently. They might. What I've seen happen over and over is either they leave, the behavior changes, or you leave. You can't have an agenda about it. Yeah, it's not personal. It's the 4 agreements. What people do is about their story, not yours. Your response is about your story, not theirs. What's up? There's a lot of storytelling going on over here. Hi, Nina. So, there's not many examples I can use that don't... good morning. We're talking about relationship stuff. Nina's been married over 30 years, so I think that, Nina, you should scope on how you've done that. To wonder if somebody else is going to change their behavior is wasted effort. Yeah, it's a waste of time. She goes, yeah, Catherine's got 26. So then you do the worksheet. Yeah, she did. You get through your emotions. As those start to calm, you see where it applies to you, where you flip it back. Yes, when you leave a relationship, leave with love. We don't have to go into hate to leave. Oh, that's what I was saying. You get to decide. You get to decide what you're willing to live with and what you're not willing to live with. If someone was repeatedly cheating on me, I would not live with that. I'd like to think that I was above it all, but as I was working through it, I would not be with that person because for me that's unacceptable. And that's how I've defined it, and that's okay. And there's always more work to do on that. But I would work through it to understand where I was leaving myself all the time, where I was cheating on myself all the time. So when you do the work and you release all the hooks that you have and you release all the attachment to it, which is possible, I promise you, I've done it. I've seen several people do it. I haven't done it in all areas of my life, but I've done it in enough that I've seen relationships change, sometimes overnight, sometimes within just a week or two. So you do this work, you see how it applies to you, you address that in yourself, not them. If someone's lying to me, I have to address the lying I do to myself. If someone's cheating on me all the time, I have to address where I abandon myself. Where am I leaving myself? Usually it's because I'm thinking about somebody else's business. If I'm worried about what he's doing, I'm in his business. I can't do anything about what he's doing. I can label it. I can call the truth. Yeah, I can say, you're being dishonest with me and I'm upset about it, which lets me know I'm being dishonest with me somewhere. So let me look at that. And then when that all goes away, and it does, you may do 50 worksheets a day on it, but it will change. When that changes, typically that person leaves or their behavior changes. It's not necessary anymore. If we come together to be each other's mirrors, once I've gotten the message that you're reflecting to me, I don't need you to keep reflecting it to me. I got it. I'm done. I see it. I got it. I fixed it. So I won't draw it out of you with my expectations and my need for healing. You won't have the impulse to lie to me anymore. I won't expect you to lie to me anymore. I'll expect you either to be gone or the lying will stop. Like attracts like, yes. He feels like he's not being appreciated. It's a pattern in our relationship. So several ways to do that, the lack of appreciation statement. The very first thing to do is have your feelings about it, like, of course I appreciate you, and have your feelings that you're misunderstood, and whatever those feelings are. The next thing to do is worksheet the heck out of it and ask yourself those questions. I want him to see, he should see that I appreciate him. He should recognize that what I'm doing is my appreciation of him. He should know this. He should already know it. We've had a zillion conversations about it. So, and then you let your feelings, you write down what you want him to do differently. He should stop asking. He should stop saying that I don't appreciate him, because I do. You write all the petty stuff down first. Blech. Yes. Feeling unappreciated. But look at what we work on all the time. We work on all the time our own lack of self-appreciation. We don't put ourselves first. So how can they feel appreciated? We're demonstrating a lack of appreciation for ourselves. You need to display appreciation. On a practical level, you can look at how people receive information. Do they receive it through touch or words or gifts or time? You can do that at the same time you're doing your own work. Smash that mirror right in the face. But the first step is, where are you not appreciating you? Where are you not valuing your own gifts, your own beauty, your own contributions to the world? Where are you detracting from your self-worth? A lot of women, I'll say most of the women I know, have pretty shitty self-esteem. Okay, when you sit down and write this stuff, you can't think it through in your head. When you sit down and write it out with your hand or on the computer, you can type it, but with your hand is best. You see it. Maybe. So he says, you don't appreciate me. You can say, you know what? I don't appreciate me either. Passive aggressively. Oh. You're right. Sometimes I don't appreciate you. You're right. Sometimes I take you for granted. How would you like me to do that differently? Uh-oh. 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 Hold it down. She fell out of the chair. Here. Here, baby. Where'd you get that can? Ugh. Nobody opened that can of soda water anytime soon. Hopefully she can't figure out how to open it. We don't put ourselves first, right? Isn't it his expectation of what appreciation for him looks like? Yes. And you get to decide if you want to do that or not. If somebody says, that's true, Michelle, it may not be. It may not be something... So if somebody says, I only feel appreciated when you punch me in the face. And you're like, I'm not going to punch you in the face. So we're going to have to find a different way for you to understand that I appreciate you. And we always get to decide. But you have to communicate about it. For some seriously unhealthy people, the way they experience love is through drama and abuse. I'm not going to drama and abuse anybody. Not in that kind of way. So, first of all, I probably would never connect with someone like that because that's not where I'm at. But if I did, I would say, I can't, I don't live like that. So, next. These things don't shift until we shift first. Spending time thinking about their behavior is not effective. Spending time thinking about your reflected behavior is effective in creating change. I don't know why that is. I just know that it is. I've worked with people since 1996. When they shift, their situation shifts. When they experience total acceptance, and the key word in that sentence is X. When I'm PMSing, my husband acts like a shit. Are you acting like a shit? Are you abusive in your thoughts? Do you abuse yourself in your head? Because it didn't resonate. Yeah. If you stay, you have to look at where you're abusing. Likely. Where are you abusing yourself? Hey, Heath. Heath is working to get the cabin ready. You don't ever get abusive in your head? All women are when they are PMS. But they don't have to be. We don't have to get like that. You know, we can keep track of it. We can prepare for it. We can eat better. We can cut our sugar. We can know that we need that separation time and we can arrange to have it. We can warn our families that week is coming, that special week. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be spending a lot of time alone. I'm going to hide. Okay, Roseanne, but you saw it. Like, you saw it for what it was. We only take the abuse that we will accept, whatever that may be. The Four Agreements book talks about that a lot. Like, you'll take crappy behavior up to the point where you don't feel like you deserve it, which can be, way different for a lot of people. Some people believe they deserve to be hit, and they'll take a lot of abuse. Yeah, and yes, I caution people against leaving their relationships until they're totally at peace and in love. Right. So if you stayed, Roseanne, there'd be a lot of work to do. So if you leave, you're going to hook up with somebody with the exact same issue. It's the same as changing a job that you're really pissed off at, and you're running from one job to another. Oh, sorry. You're going to find that same issues, because wherever you go, you take your stuff with you. So you're going to take your stuff with you into another relationship. You're going to take your stuff with you into another job. You can move to another city. You're going to have the same issues. You're going to attract the same issues because you aren't done with it. You haven't dealt with it. Correct. Yes. If you're at a place where you see where you've participated, you see the information that's being given to you, and you heal it, and their behavior doesn't change, then you can make a decision in a completely different kind of energy. Yes, healers trying to heal cannot heal everyone. That's correct. Sometimes you have to leave. The realization kept you in your marriage and kept you working, realizing that you'd just find someone with the same problems elsewhere. Right. Right. And that's, this is a way of looking at life. Definitely, Roseanne. And you may not subscribe to it. It may not work for you. We can't heal anybody. We can't barely even take care of ourselves. Right. Yeah. Heath, if you're still on here, I've told Heath a million times, if something happens to you, I'm done, buddy. I'm done. Good, Roseanne, I'm glad. I'm glad you're not in that anymore. You'll know if you've done all your work, if leaving feels like the next logical step and you're at total peace with it. Oh God, yeah, you can't heal anybody. Yeah, I think we're all done. The thing is, if you have to decide what you want. Do you want to be the freedom that comes with living a story-free life? Do you want that freedom from the slavery of your thoughts? It makes perfect sense. If that's what you want, then you have to do the work. There's no way around it except through it. I have never seen a shortcut that works. You can't just think shit in your head. You've got to get out a worksheet and write it on paper. You've got to find someone to talk to and say, here's what I'm seeing. Now help me see how this is my stuff. You have to return to love first. You don't let yourself off the hook. So you no longer choose to indulge a pity party. It is simple. You've just got to always hold yourself accountable. So if you're complaining about... Yes, Sarah. Yes. They just keep... I hated being a therapist because it never changed. It is a great cycle, Tanya. It's self-reinforcing. I hated being a therapist. I hated it. Because people would come in with the same issue every time. I'd tell them what to do, and they would go away, and they'd come back the next week with the same issue, and I'd say, well, did you do the homework? Well, no, because blah, blah, blah. Well, no, because I got too busy. Well, no, because, well, get out of my office. You're not here to work. No. A lot of people go to therapy because they think they should. A lot of people expect the therapist to do the work for them. I actually had a police officer say this to me. So here comes this crusty old police officer in his 50s, and he's tired of being a cop. And he decides he wants to do something else. So I say, okay, well, what have you explored? What are you interested in? And yeah, if you're ready to work, therapy shouldn't last very long. And then he says to me, that's your job. And I was like, what? What's my job? It's your job to tell me what I need to do. And I was like, I'm not a car repair person. Right, Sarah, we can support people in their healing, but we can't do it for them. They have to do the work. But, that officer really thought that he was going to come to me. I was going to write him a prescription. Yes. The doctor can't heal you. You have to heal yourself. Yeah, if you have a recurrent cycle and a pattern in your marriage, it's a gold mine of information for you. And as you work your way through it, things shift. And they won't shift until you start doing your own work. You don't let yourself wallow in the garbage. Here, take these pills. Yes. Yeah. There's no pill you can take to do this work. You have to do the work yourself. You have to ask yourself, how is this about me? And you may not know the answer. You probably won't. But in asking the question, the information comes. The key is you've got to ask that question. So then you may remember memories from childhood. Then you may remember, you may see that you're acting out subconscious patterns. And then you go back to, for me, I go back to the core desired feeling. Process. This is all my own stuff. Yes. You have to be willing to accept what you learn. Yes. And apply it. That's why I say this all the time. This work is not for the faint of heart or the casual person. This is serious, difficult work. It requires commitment and patience and constantly challenging yourself to see things differently. Weak-ass people don't stick with it. It takes guts. It takes courage. And I commend every one of us for doing it because it's hard. It's much easier to Facebook your life away, and vulnerability, which doesn't feel good, and responsibility, which doesn't feel good. If you're complaining about other people being irresponsible, where are you being irresponsible? It is hard. It's very hard. And yet our desire for freedom from story is greater than our fear of doing the work. Our courage comes from wanting so much to be free. Our strength to continue doing the work comes from so much wanting to be connected to Source, whatever that is for you. To be connected to peace, to have peace in our relationships, to have the pain of continuing is often worse than the pain of the work. Yes. We know we do not want to go back to sleep. Once you've had a taste of this freedom, once you've had a taste of connection, you won't ever fall asleep again in the same way. And you'll be motivated to keep seeking. Right. People who want it easy want to take a pill. People who want it easy want to live their lives in a Xanax fog. You guys have chosen to not live that way. But that means you have to hold yourself accountable. Yeah. I can promise you this. I can make you this promise with 100% confidence after years and years and years of seeing this work. You do your work and they will respond. I promise you this promise is a good one. You do your work, you stay connected to love, you process your bad feelings. We're not going to call feelings anything bad. You process your own history and your situation will change. And you have to be ready for that, whatever that means. That behavior will stop. That person will leave. The situation will change. 100% of the time. Once you've got it, that situation changes every single time. So stand in your power and own yourself. You want people to own their shit, own your shit. You want people to be responsible, you be responsible. Trust in the process. Trust in your own strength. It's like magic, only better. Yes, there's not a lot of ritual involved. You don't have to go buy any special supplies. And watch for the synchronicities that let you know you're on the right path. The synchronicities happening all the time. All the time. The more aligned we are, the more miraculous things happen. What questions do you have? So I've heard this question before many, many times. Yes, if you want people to speak their truth, then you have to speak their truth. Your truth. Even at a family gathering where it's really freaking uncomfortable. Even in a group of friends where somebody says something that you feel a need to speak up about it. Handle it. Deal with it. Let people feel the weight of who you are and let them choose their response. It's not your business what they choose. It's only your business what you choose. Summon up the strength to keep going. Summon up the courage because you know what's on the other side. What's on the other side is tremendous. What's on the other side of doing this work every time is this profound peace and centered love and ecstasy. And then it's followed by a toddler smishing a banana into the couch and herself. And then you just keep going. You keep going. Words can't describe it. No, they can't. It's a process. So progress, not perfection. Make a little progress. Don't hold yourself to some weird perfectionistic standard. Ah, God, I got mad at him again. Well, you're going to get mad. And you work with it. And then she smiles and all is forgiven. She's got a can of Perrier grapefruit soda water and she's pretending to drink out of it. Thank God it's not open. Oh, so let me address approving of a shitty behavior and accepting of a shitty behavior. Yeah, it's a great book. We can't learn without mistakes. Mistakes teach us what to do differently next time. Here's the good thing. Patterns are going to happen again, so you get a chance to take another run at it. So if someone has a behavior that's awful, here I'll give you this example. My Aunt Irene, my dad's family's skinny, tall, not the women, but, skinny. I'm skinny. They're just skinny. And I'm clearly not. But the only woman on my dad's side of the family, there were 13 kids. The only one of them that was overweight was my Aunt Irene. She was the oldest, and she was round. They're scrawny. Yeah, they're just scrawny. Even my dad was he was tall. He was 6'3", but he was very slim built. So my Aunt Irene was the only fatty. She was round, and she struggled with sugar, and she had diabetes. Well, every time she would try to cut her sugar, my uncle, the heck was his name? I don't even remember his name. He was an awful person. He would bring home more sugar. He would stop at the store and bring home chocolate cakes. Joe Edward. I thought Joe, and then I was like, no, that's not right. Joe, yeah. So he would bring home chocolate cakes. He would bring home pies. He would bring home everything he could to make her fail. Every time. So if she was doing this work, she could have handled it this way. I know you're an ass. And you're going to bring this stuff home every time. And I accept that this is what you're going to do. And I accept that I'm not willing to leave our marriage today. So I'm just going to call it out. I know what you're doing. I know you're doing that thing. You're speaking the truth. You're stating the truth of the situation. You're accepting the behavior that's going to happen anyway. Not approving of it doesn't stop the behavior. My disapproval of some of my husband's behavior hasn't changed them one bit. His disapproval of some of my behavior hasn't changed it one bit. I still leave too many cat food plates on the floor. And I know it drives him nuts. And I try to remember to pick them up and I forget. Chances are, yeah, you're bringing it into the light. So, disapproval is wasted effort. It doesn't stop it. It doesn't change it. So you start calling it out. And you start saying what it is. You label it. You speak it out. You say, that's okay, you'll get there. Right. Acknowledging it. So there's no hidden power struggle. You knock the legs right out from under somebody when you say, I know what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know that you are bringing home the sugar because I'm trying to improve my health. I get it. I'm not buying it. It's hard for me. It makes this harder for me. But I'm going to continue. And I see what you're doing. And, okay. Call it out, bitches. That's my issue. I'm afraid of the truth being spoken. Yeah. Perfect. So you're surrounded by dishonesty. How much truth are you letting in? How much truth are you speaking to yourself? How much lying are you doing to yourself? Where are you being dishonest about your own motives? I agree, Nina. He didn't want her to be skinny because he thought then she'd go find somebody better than he was, and he was an asshole. She really just wanted to get healthy. Oh my gosh, he did that to my mom and she put the cake in a sink full of water. My mom lived with my Aunt Irene for a while. I'm just dropping these blinds. The sun's shining on my tattoo and it's making it sting. So see, that's the way she could have handled it. He never did that again. See, she could have handled it the same way, but what did she do? She lied to herself. She said, oh, all right, I give up. He was able to exploit her own insecurities. He was reflecting back to her her own belief that she could never make a change, that she could never be well, that she could never do anything. He reflected back to her her own denial. Does that make sense? It's kind of an extreme example, but there's a number of different ways she could have handled that rather than eating the damn cake. That's where we comply. That's where we collude with our own destruction. We use people as our excuse to not do our work. We use people as our excuse to fail. I remember when I got divorced in 91. We split up in 1991. And I had quit smoking at that time. I relapsed later, but in the immediate pain of knowing I was getting a divorce, he didn't tell me. I had been asking for months, are you leaving? Are we splitting up? What's going on here? He was denying it the whole time. And then I found a receipt in the checkbook and some prices jotted down for a waterbed. And I was like, why are you shopping for a waterbed? We have a waterbed. And I was like, you're leaving. All these months I've been asking you and you denied it and you're leaving. So in that pain, I headed for the 7-Eleven. I was like, I'm going to smoke. I'm going to smoke right now, and I'm going to smoke a whole pack. I'm going to smoke till I throw up. I'm going to smoke till my fingers turn yellow. I'm going to smoke till I catch my hair on fire. I was so upset, so upset. And then standing in the line at 7-Eleven, I was like, you know what? I've worked so hard to quit smoking. I'm not going to let him take that from me. I'm not going to give my power away. I'm not going to use this as an excuse to continue my self-destruction. And then I relapsed like 6 months later, but it was in that moment, I was really proud of myself, and I never forgot that. I never forgot that I was like not going to let him have that. Where are you going? She's pushing a kitchen chair all the way across the floor, and it's pretty heavy. She's struggling. Goofball. Is this making sense? Yeah, she's moving furniture. They both are. They're shoving a kitchen chair. We brought them a table and chairs. Hey, there's 4 chairs. There's plenty of chairs for everybody. Here. 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 Hey. Ashley, look. Ashley, look. Here's a chair for you. Look, there's your own chair. Yay. Cheers for everybody. Yay, cheers. Right. But that's the good chair. Avery's got the good chair. That chair's garbage. They're fine. They're both shoving the kitchen chairs around the kitchen now. Here, let me show you. It's pretty funny. Whoops. Bye. What are you guys doing? Moving furniture? Your nose is running, I see. Whoops. You're pushing chairs around? You want some of these? Okay. Aren't they cute? They didn't have a table and chairs. When we bought our cabin, there was a big oak table and chairs in there that was way too big. Oh, yeah. I love their bed heads. Here, want a cracker? Yay, cracker. Go smash that into the banana and you'll have a cake going. The banana makes me want to throw up. I'm sorry. Just the slime of bananas make me want to hurl. Does this make sense? Take your hit, then do your work. Then rest. Take your hit, do your work, and then rest. Pick a core desired feeling so you have an anchor to go back to. That's the beauty of desire mapping. That's why it works. You have a label, you have a strong sense of the feeling that you've chosen. Mine is divine ease. I know what that feels like inside my body for that. So I take my hit, I move through the hurt, I move through the anger, I ask, how can I see this differently? I ask, how does this apply to me? I let the feelings go through. I'm going to start watching my language on that. And then I return. Then I say, okay, now what was my core desired feeling? Oh, divine ease. Oh, I'm glad, Sarah. I feel like you helped me so much. I'm glad to be helpful to you. Okay, you return to core desired feeling, and you don't take action until you feel the inspiration to act. Sit in your feeling. Let that feeling attract to you the information for your next step, if there is one. There often isn't one. Just you making your internal changes will take care of the situation on outside of you. Inside work, outside changes. Every single time. I promise. I promise. It's the only promise that I can make to you and feel good about it. If someone's lying to me, that's okay. I lie to myself a lot. More than I thought. Just embarrassing. You know, I take a pick. Wheat screws me up. Sugar screws me up. And I come to Morgan's and her wife eats garbage and I pick at the garbage and then I lie to myself about it. Instead of drinking water when I first wake up, I drink coffee. That doesn't work for me. But I am continuing to do it and lying to myself about it. Oh, it's okay. It's just once. Oh, it's okay. It's just one bite. Oh, it's okay. It's just one slice of pizza. I didn't eat the whole pizza. I didn't drink the whole 2-liter bottle of Coke. Coffee's made with water. I didn't drink a gallon of coffee. Only half a gallon. Sleep well, Sarah. Rest. You never would have thought you lied to yourself until your worksheet. The work is pretty amazing, yes. But leave the gluten alone. When I cheat on gluten, I'll do better tomorrow. Yes, I'll do better tomorrow. Here's the classic. I have to eat it. It's right here. It's right in front of me. I have to eat it. Well, no, you don't. Oh, I lie to myself about eating all the time. Hi, baby pumpkin. You're welcome. She says tay-tay for thank you. Feel better, Miss Sarah. I stressed myself out so bad I got a cold sore. A cold sore! How helpful is that? Not helpful at all. Does this make more sense? I know, it's so irritating. I did. I put some thieves on it this morning. It helps. It takes the pain right out of it. What do you want? Another cracker? Are you here for a refill, cracker baby? Cracker. Yeah. Okay. So, we didn't read our Course in Miracles book, but I wanted to talk to you about Course in Miracles when things are hurt, when you're hurting. That's when you need it. Take it out off the study table and into your life. Take it out of your head and into your heart and use it. Work it. Work that shit. Work it, baby. Okay? Yes, practical Course in Miracles. Course in Miracles can be a very... Oh, yes. This group is moving mountains as a whole. Yeah, Michelle has a cold. Michelle's like my long-lost twin or something, except I'm way older. But we are all doing the same thing at the same time. Because I hear from you all individually, I know that you're all doing the same thing at the same time, and I know it because I'm doing the same thing at the same time. Same size bubbles. Cracker! Here you go, Cracker. It is weird but beautiful. Yes, we are beautiful mirrors. So, way more fun in a group. Way better support. You don't feel like you're so crazy, right? You're like, my life is so screwed up. And then you're like, oh my God, all these people's lives are so screwed up. So, I'm probably okay. It is a mastermind group. Hey, you can't do that. Your body is not made for that. She's trying to lift Morgan's weights. Not as crazy. Let's all drink our own Kool-Aid. It will change your life, Susan. It will change your life. But create your core desired feeling, whether you do that in a workshop with me or you get the book and do it on your own. Create an anchor for yourself so you always have some place to come back to that's familiar and defined by you. Cookie face. Yeah, we're all crazy. There's that meme going around. We're all basically the same person. We are. We just have different faces. Hold on. Let me get another package of these things. Oh, uh-oh. Hold on. You guys, I appreciate your patience with my running back and forth taking care of the twins while I'm trying to talk to you. I appreciate your presence. I appreciate you sharing your stories with me and walking through this journey with me. Yes. She had a fountain yesterday, and it's still, oh good, it's still there. Her bedhead, her fountain ponytail thing stayed in. Oh, good. You're so sweet. Are you sharing? Thank you. Ew, I got a sticky nutter buddy. Nutter butter bite. Ooh. Great. Good. We all love each other. It's awesome. Yeah. They hand me Speedy food all the time, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Yum. Yeah. Yeah, peanut butter and banana. Okay. Oh, yeah, there's the fountain on her head. Can you see her behind me? It's turning into like a cockatoo thing. Ashlyn, look, say hi.
Hi.
Hi. Say hi. Say hi. Hi. Say hi, Avery.
Who's that?
Who's that? That's you. Oh, let's all start fighting over the phone. Yeah, bad idea. Hi. She sounds like, did you see the movie Lilo and Stitch? Thanks. Thank you. She sounds like Stitch. She's all, hi. You're funny. Here. Okay. I'm going to go, I love, hi. Yeah, it is creepy. She's over here going, hi. Okay. That's the best I've got. That's the best advice I can give you today. If whatever situation you're struggling with, go do your own work on it. Thework.com, under resources, tools for the work, I think. It used to be a lot easier to find on their website. You're welcome. They've made it a little more difficult. I don't know who redesigned the website, but here's my story about them. They sucked. They screwed the website up. It's harder to find the actual worksheet. You want to download the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet and the worksheet facilitation guide and walk yourself through it. And if you need help, come to the Perry Fam group on Facebook, or message me if you're not on Facebook. You can message me at caddyshackdesigns@gmail.com. You can message me on Facebook if we're friends. You can DM me on Twitter. Lots of ways you can get a hold of me if you need help. If you get stuck, sometimes bouncing it off another person will help you go on and see what you need to see. All right, take care. I love you guys. Thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow. You're welcome. Have a great day. You're very welcome. Much love to you. All of you. Bye.